What's going on, everybody? It's the Snob here, and it's the Snob Reviews, and I'm continuing my journey on this fantastic voyage of Picard, the new Star Trek show on CBS All Access. And I've just watched episode 6, The Impossible Box, which has John Luke finally coming with and company coming to the artifact, which is an abandoned Borg cube that has been taken over by the Romulans and has been, and there's a lot of different things going on there, but for the most part, it looks like it's Hugh from the Iborg episode of Next Generation is back, and he's trying to help reacclimate Borg from the collective back into their lives. So, with that being said, I don't want to go too much into the story, but I am going to touch down on some things I like, I don't like, and kind of where the season's at for me. So, some things I really liked about it. I like the fact that we've touched down on the Borg. They've been showing this cube. They've been showing Borg members disconnected for a while and kind of hinting at things. But you wanted to see what was going to happen with Picard getting to this cube. So he's finally there. He gets a clearance to go in and meet with the director. From Starfleet. It was a friend of Rafi's who put it together for him. It's diplomatic, a diplomatic, voyage, if you will, or meeting. So he gets on. He's having a lot of flashbacks of his time as Locutus, and he's just kind of suffering a little bit through that. He's a little scared of being on there. And I'll get to that in a second because there's some things I didn't love about that. But, he gets on, he meets with Hugh, he's very happy. He sees the work Hugh is doing, he's very happy about that as well, which is kind of cool. It's kind of cool to see him kind of turn the fence about how he feels about the Borg. It's a little strange for me that, he was, in the beginning of the episode, he was so dead against, the Borg can't be fixed. They are who they are. They're killers. And then to see what's going on, and he changes real fast. And the whole point of why do you feel like this? I know you hate the Borg, and that goes back to First Contact, goes back to Nemesis, the whole nine. Goes all the way back to when he first met the Borg, and he was taken on in the collective. So, but my thing is, I don't mind the nightmares, I don't mind all that, but he has a hate for the Borg. And they can never be fixed, and this, that, and the other thing. And he was. And Hugh was. And when he sees Hugh, he has no problem. He gives him a big hug. He's happy to see him. And he was so happy that it was Hugh there doing this. He trusted it more because Hugh was there. So it was kind of a strange thing for me. They also mentioned on it that when he was kind of talking about it, having been Borg, they said, oh yeah, that's right, you were on a Borg cube. And they mentioned when he was Borg, when he was Locutus. And but that's not true. I thought he was, I want to go back and research it, but I'm pretty certain he was on a cube, and he was on maybe not a cube, but he was on a Borg ship that was connected to the collective. There was First Contact when they took over the Enterprise. And then there was Nemesis. So, he's had so many run-ins before, and he's dealt with his feelings about it before and things like that. So, for it to kind of be dredged up again, it was a little bit of strange for me. It seemed a little bit, I don't know. It just didn't seem to fit when it was going that route. But regardless, I'm still along. I was enjoying, I enjoyed the episode. You have a lot of Narek trying to pull out Soji's memories, trying to, get out, get some understanding of certain things, about her past, and she's starting to learn about herself. She's now scans everything in her room. She finds out she's only about 3 years old. She's questioning everything because she keeps having this dream about when she was a little girl and going to see her father, and then she sees herself, adult-sized self, as a Pinocchio puppet on this table, and she can't figure out what it means. And then Narek tries to kill her, and she activates, and boom, she breaks out of it, and then she and Picard take off, and Hugh helps them escape. So they're separated from the crew, so the crew has to reach the planet by starship, whereas they have this machine that can just kind of transport them wherever they want to go. So it was cool how they did it. Overall, the whole episode wasn't bad. I like it. I like the episode. I like that you're not going to be on the Borg cube too long. I didn't want that. I thought this was all kind of coming to a head where it's just going, the rest of the season's going to take place on this Borg cube, but no, it doesn't look like that. And I dig that. I'm glad, because I didn't want it to. It almost kind of seems like, not that the Borg are out of it at all, but that there's something that they didn't need the Borg. Borg weren't as important right now as previously thought. Like, thought they might come back or something like that. But so anyway, love the episode, except for like the episode I really loved. The season, there's some things that still bother me, and I think that's my biggest problem. Was this episode perfect? No, but it's headed in the right direction. Like, after the first episode, the second, third I didn't love. The fourth was pretty good. I liked it. The fifth was hit or miss for me, and now sixth, like, it's still going in the right direction. It seems like we're gonna get Frakes and Sirtis back to play Deanna Troi and Riker. So next week, so that'll be cool. But so my biggest thing is with Picard is how he acts. He just doesn't feel like Picard to me. I don't know. It seems like they would be trying to get closer and closer to what he was. He was a man who never really, not that he never questioned himself, but he had his principles and he never questioned those. He stuck to who he was, who he knew, what he knew to be right and wrong. And this just seems like a very wishy-washy type of Picard for me. And he doesn't seem very familiar to what he was, even only 18 years ago when we last saw him. So, and he's, as much as he's dealt with in the past, look at Insurrection. Like, Insurrection, he went against Starfleet, his beloved Starfleet, but he knew what was right. And this just, it seems like now, like, he just left it behind for 14 years because no real shame. He was right. They just went against him. So I don't understand why he would just kind of go into hiding, not speak out, I don't know. He just doesn't seem familiar to me, to what he was. And I just kind of hope they change that. I kind of hope he gets back to it. I don't know if this is, what kind of choice this is by the filmmakers, or I should say the showrunners and whatnot, and the writers, or even Patrick Stewart himself. Like, you don't feel like you're adopting the character that you once knew. So it seems like you're only trying to rehash things about the character that we loved. So I don't know. That's just what I think. I want to know what you guys think. I love talking about this stuff. I love hearing, especially from huge fans of Star Trek. Like, I love hearing from you guys and knowing what you guys think about everything. So with that being said, I'll leave it to you. Comment, message me here on any social media platform. So make sure you like and subscribe the show here on YouTube, or you can go to any one of the podcasting platforms that I'm on. You check that out on thescenesnobs.com. Also, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Scene Snob. Follow us there, like us, the whole thing. You can reach out to us. I'm very active on there, so I talk to everybody, and I love conversations, so please have at it. With that being said, I am also the Scene Snobs in general. We got a bunch of stuff coming out. Next week is our John Carpenter Appreciation Week. So every episode that we put on of the podcast or the videos is going to incorporate John Carpenter in some way in a theme. So like they're doing a wrestling podcast, I'm sure you know what I might talk about. Maybe Roddy Piper, hint, hint. And it's all kind of culminating to our newest podcast, Behind the Box, which is a cult classics podcast for like the video store generation who loved going to the horror section, the sci-fi section, the action section. and all that jazz, and finding like I don't want to say the worst of the worst, because that's not what it's about. It's the most beloved of the beloved movies, like the campy, everything else that we really enjoyed. So check that out. That's going to be a John Carpenter episode. If ever there was one, we're going to talk about him all the way through. And then after that, we're just going to have, it's all going to be cult classics all the way. So make sure you're checking all those out. The Scene Snubs is also a proud sponsor of Lost Weekend 13 Film Festival over at the Alamo Winchester in Virginia. Check that out. That's $40 for a weekend pass, or you can buy individual tickets. And they have 44 films going on that week. They have special guests coming, the whole 9 yards. I'll be there, so if you see me, come check it out. Talk to me. I love hearing from everybody. So, and we also are going to be proud sponsor of Psychorama, which is going on at the same Alamo in April. So much fun things going on. So go check everything out. Get your tickets, the whole 9. Hit us up. Let me know what you guys, again, thought of this review in this episode. And just look forward to hearing from you. And take care. The Scene Snobs podcast will be brand new tomorrow. And I love you guys. Take care.